Hi everyone, my name is Gavin. I'm a chartered accountant and I love to speak about money. And today we're going to dive into one of the best savings tools that the UK has to offer. It's called the Lifetime Investment Savings Account, or LISA for short. Whether you're saving up to buy your first home or just for retirement in general, this is one of the best ways to do it, as you can get up to £1,000 from the government per year absolutely free. In this video, I'll explain exactly how it works, who it's for, and how to do it, without all the complicated jargon. So let's jump right into it. So, what is a LISA? A Lifetime Investment Savings Account is an account that is incentivized by the government to help people save, whether that's towards a first home or just for retirement in general. You can contribute up to £4,000 a year and you'll get a 25% bonus on whatever you contribute. That is £1,000 per year, every single year, free from the government. Amazing. So just to clarify, you don't have to invest the full £4,000. That is the maximum you can invest every year. So currently, there are two types of LISAs available. The first one is a cash LISA, which is very similar to a normal bank savings account, where you'll get a stipulated interest rate upfront, you invest your money in there, you leave it as long as you want, and you'll know every single year how much money you're going to get, because you know what the interest rate is. Now, this is a great option if you are risk averse and you don't want to worry about fluctuations in the stock market, anything like that. But this doesn't allow you to get maximal gains, and that's why I prefer the second option, a stocks and shares LISA, where you can invest in the stock market, whether that's stocks, bonds, ETFs, whatever you wish. You invest in it using this wrapper called the stocks and shares LISA. And that allows you to get the maximal return from movements in the stock market. Now, this is a more risky investment. As we've seen recently, the stock market has been up and down like crazy. However, if you look historically, the stock market outperforms a bank savings account almost always. So this is maybe a bit of a longer term approach. However, if you're looking to buy a home or saving for retirement, that is usually a long-term goal, which means you're not going to do it in the next 1 or 2 years, right? So if you want to benefit from the stock market, I prefer a stocks and shares LISA. If you want to keep your money in cash, a cash LISA is the one for you. So who can open a LISA? Firstly, to be eligible, you have to be a UK resident, which means that you live in the UK. You don't have to be a citizen per se, you just have to be a resident. Google the term resident if you're not sure what that is. But essentially that means, if you're like me and you've immigrated from another country, you can almost immediately, when you land in the UK, open up a LISA and start taking advantage of this. Second requirement is you have to be between the ages of 18 and 40, which means you can open up a LISA from the day you turn 18 until one day before you turn 40. Contributing to the LISA, you can contribute up to £4,000 a year, which will form part of your overall limit of £20,000 of the tax-free money that you can invest per year, right? You can invest £4,000 up to the age of 50. Which means the cutoff date to open an account is 40, one day before 40, and you can invest up to the age of 50. So, what happens when you withdraw your money early? Meaning that you haven't turned 60 yet, you're withdrawing this money not to purchase a home, and another thing is you're not terminally ill. That is one of the requirements, right? So what happens when you withdraw this money without doing any of those things? You'll incur a 25% penalty. Now that sounds fine because that's just the bonus taking away. No, the 25% penalty is on the total amount of investment funds. So let me give you an example. You put in £4,000, just say for 1 year, right? Put in £4,000, you get a £1,000 bonus, which means your balance is at £5,000. Now, if you take 25% of that, that comes out to £1,250. You see the math? The £1,000 bonus is completely taken away, and £250 of your own money is also lost if you withdraw early. So this is something to be very aware of. Don't take out your money if it's not absolutely necessary, right? Or if you're buying first home, retirement, or terminally ill. Leave it in there, and I suggest using this as part of a portfolio, right? You don't want all your eggs in one basket, so maybe have some more liquid funds in a savings account if you feel that you might need to withdraw the money early, right? You'd rather use it from a normal bank savings account instead of a LISA. Then you won't incur a penalty and you won't lose money out of the deal, right? This is something you should take into consideration and think about this before you invest in a LISA, as it is quite a big penalty if you're taking out a lot of money. So let's chat about cash versus stocks and shares LISA, right? So firstly, cash LISA is a low risk option. You get the stipulated interest rate up front. You know what you're going to get a year or however long you choose to invest. You know what the returns are going to be, and this is typically an option for a bit of a shorter term approach. If you plan to buy a house in the next 1 to 3 years, you don't want to be subject to the fluctuations of the stock market, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. So you want to keep your money in this cash ISA, get the nice 25% bonus, and get the stipulated interest rate, usually about 4 to 5%, right? Not a lot, but it's not nothing, okay? So 1 to 3 year period timeline, I would suggest doing a cash ISA. Next option is a stocks and shares ISA, and this is a bit a longer term approach because there is obviously risk involved in investing in the stock market, right? As we've seen about a month ago, the tariffs that Trump imposed on the rest of the world led to a massive stock market crash, I think one of the biggest in 4 years. And if you're not a seasoned investor and you're a bit risk averse, you would be very nervous during this time because you'd see your whole portfolio go down. And it's not a great look or a great feel at all, right? So if you're risk averse, I suggest sticking with a cash ISA, just doing that. But if you're willing to accept the risk, you might be eligible for a bit higher return. As over the past 10 years, the S&P 500 has historically gained about 14% per annum per year, right? So if you consider about 14% versus 5%, that is better to invest in the stock market. Now, I obviously prefer the stock market. I am not risk averse, and I know the mechanics of how these things work. And my approach is a bit longer term, 3 to 5 years, okay? Obviously, if you're opening an account for retirement, you will have a longer term approach. So I would suggest if you're opening an account for retirement, you're going to open that account at least or at most when you're 40. You can contribute until you're 50, and you can only get the money when you're 60. So there's a 10, 20 year minimum amount of time that has to pass, which I would highly suggest taking the second option, putting your money in stocks and shares, just putting the S&P 500, nothing fancy, and just letting it grow over that period of time. Historically, factually, you will outperform a cash ISA over the period of 10 years. One thing that I did forget to mention is that your contributions and the bonus, and if you invest in a stocks and shares ISA, stock returns or the gains, if you invest in a cash ISA, the interest you earn, all of that is absolutely tax-free when you withdraw correctly, buying a home, retirement, or terminally ill. So next up, we have to chat about the providers, the platforms you can use to invest into a LISA, right? So I'll put a comparison on the screen, and I'll start off by saying that these providers charge you a management fee, which might consist of a variable fee depending on the amount you invest with them, and or a monthly fee that you pay them to use the platform, right? So firstly, off the bat, Dodl, DODL, is probably the cheapest and most affordable option out there, which means the management fee is lower than everyone else, which means your returns are going to be more because they take less money from you. In our personal finance journey, we always want to minimize fees and minimize expenses and get the cheapest option to get the most return. Dodl offers you a platform where you can invest in a bunch of different stocks, funds, ETFs, etc. Right? This is known as a DIY platform where you choose to invest in whatever you want to, and hence why it's a bit cheaper. Okay, so as of now, just for example and comparison purposes, Dodl offers a 0.15% per year. at a minimum of £1 a month, right? So over a year, it'll be £12 minimum that you'll pay for using their platform. Dodl is managed by AJ Bell, and AJ Bell also offer a platform separately from Dodl, but ironically with quite higher fees. Another type of fee that you can expect is fees to buy and sell funds, right? So if you invest in the S&P 500, that is an exchange traded fund, an ETF, that is a fund, you will pay a fee to buy or sell that fund if you use AJ Bell. Comparing it to Dodl, zero. I don't know why anyone would choose AJ Bell over their counterpart Dodl, but just to illustrate how this works to you, the fees for AJ Bell are a bit higher. Another DIY platform is Hargreaves Lansdown, and they are by far the most expensive. So I would suggest this if you are very familiar with them. They are a bit more of a family business. If you have contacts with them, by all means use the platform. Otherwise, they are the most expensive, which means your returns are not going to be that high compared to something like Dodl. We also have a few more simpler LISA platforms which offer you a tailored offering, which means they will ask you a few questions, and depending on those questions and your risk level, normally they will suggest a few funds or stocks to invest in for you. Now, this usually carries a bit of a higher fee. Okay, so one of those is Nutmeg and the other one is Moneybox, right? So both of them offer a management fee of 0.45%. I think these numbers change a lot, so it's not necessary to go into every single bit of detail. However, at this moment, I currently use Moneybox because their app is very user-friendly. I absolutely love their app. You can connect with your partner's app, and then it shows you the combined balance. Setting up the direct debit is super easy. So Moneybox, even though it carries a bit higher fee than Dodl, for me it's worth it. Just for the user experience of using the app, it is absolutely amazing and worth it, right? Now, in saying this, you can also choose to invest in whatever you want to. For example, the S&P 500 fund. You don't have to invest in whatever they say. You can choose your own portfolio for these apps. They'll just carry a bit of a higher charge for doing so. So what I suggest is, before you invest, just Google or use ChatGPT and ask it, what are all the fees going to be if I invest using this platform? And it's something to take into consideration. And what I usually suggest is sticking with one and investing in that for the complete duration of the period that you want to invest in. However, if you see, for example, me, I currently invest with Moneybox, and now I have seen that Dodl is quite cheaper. You can transfer a LISA from one provider to another to take advantage of cheaper management fees or whatever you prefer. Right? So you're not stuck with that provider. You can transfer your LISA to another provider, and you will not incur any penalties for doing this as long as it's an accredited provider. So to recap, we have DIY platforms, we have simpler platforms, we have management fees, we have fees to buy and sell holdings, and we have fees to buy and sell shares. So here are a few tips for maximizing your LISA. First one is to start early, because you can only get £1,000 bonus every year, right? So start immediately and start contributing immediately to get that nice bonus every single month, right? If you think about it, what other investment is going to give you an immediate 25% return on investment? I don't know of any that are real or not Ponzi schemes, right? So start early, invest early, and get that bonus as soon as possible. Secondly, if you use one of the providers that I spoke about, set up a monthly direct debit to take the money out of your bank account every single month, right? And with this personal finance approach, I suggest when you get your money in every month using your budget, you know how much will go towards savings/investments, right? Take that money out first, okay? This allows you to not spend that money on unnecessary things that are not budgeted for, and then take out your normal expenses as usual. So set up a monthly direct debit, take the money out of your account and invest it automatically. You don't have to worry about remembering to do this every single month. It can be done automatically. Okay? The earlier you start, the more your money will grow over time. Even if you can't contribute the full 4K every year, every little bit helps. You can invest £1 and you get 25% bonus. So whatever money you don't invest into a retirement fund or something else specifically, after you've been paid your salary or however your income is earned, invest this into a LISA as soon as possible. So to wrap up, the LISA is an excellent tool which can be used towards buying your first home or just for retirement in general. Just remember the rules. There are age cutoffs for opening an account, investing and accessing your money, right? And also you have to buy a first home, never owned a home before, right? Those are the 2 requirements. And if you don't meet the withdrawal requirements, you'll incur a penalty of 25% on the total balance. I personally think that it's a no-brainer if one of your goals is to purchase a home in the near future. That 25% instant return on investment is just too good to ignore. If you've made it to this far into the video, if this video has given you any value, right, has helped you in any way, I would really appreciate it. If you could just give a like and share this maybe with one other friend that might be interested. Also, I aim to address every single comment that you leave. So if you have any comments or questions regarding your personal finance situation, please pop in the comment box and I'll address them either in the comments or make a YouTube short addressing your question specifically if there's a bit more complex things to discuss, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hoped I helped you a bit on your investing journey and your way up to opening your first LISA. Thanks again. Bye.